Thanks very much indeed for coming in to see us today, Ruth. I know, having represented you, how private a person you normally are. Perhaps you could explain to us why you've been willing to tell your story today.
I really hope it stops. I really hope it helps people to realise that they don't have to feel so ashamed about what's happened, that it's got nothing to do with them, and that they need help at this point in their lives. They need help to get them through to the next point in their life safely. I'd like to help other people find the confidence to come in to see a solicitor, to help them find out a bit more about their position and about how solicitors can help them through the court process. When it's actually going on, you don't want to talk to anyone. You don't want to let anyone know that there's anything wrong. You don't want to be on social media. I still don't. You don't want to let anyone think that there could be anything the matter with your relationship or with what's going on, and you tend just to blame yourself for everything. Going through the court process was a really positive experience for me, even though it's really difficult to do, because we actually had our voices heard, and we wouldn't have been heard without the help of Fiona and Peter representing us. I really couldn't have done this on my own.
I know you've been through a lot to get through the court process. Now you're kind of out the other side. What's life looking like for you now? How are you feeling now?
When I left the women's refuge and after the court cases, that's when the majority of the trauma came out properly. And after that, and after being given a fresh start, I was able to rebuild my confidence and our lives, and I'm feeling like my old self again. And I feel that we've really had our voices heard, and we're in a much stronger position for the future. My son and I are now settled in a different house, and we're looking forward to our future.
Given where you now are, what advice would you give to others who find themselves in the same situation as you are, who are perhaps starting the process and journey that you went through?
Well, the advice that I've got is to keep really detailed notes on everything. Try and keep your paperwork in order. If possible, have somebody come to any solicitors' meetings with you, so as they can ask any questions that you might have forgotten to ask. And also they can remind you of key points that the solicitor may have made during the meeting that you might not remember at the time. It's a really, really stressful time in your life, and I think to get as much support around you as possible is the best thing. Don't be afraid of talking to a few solicitors until you find one that you're really comfortable with and that you think can represent you well and understands your situation, can represent you well in court. Talk to family and friends, because they'll give you a different perspective about what's happened and about what particular questions to ask your solicitor. Your solicitor's job is to explain the court process and what to expect. And sometimes it's better to hear the truth rather than what you want to hear.
As a family solicitor specialising in cases including children in domestic abuse, I've seen many clients in Ruth's situation, given how widespread domestic abuse is and given the stigma which still applies to victims of it. And it's very rare indeed to have somebody brave enough, willing to tell their story to help others.